Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Neolithic, a game designed by Clowdus and currently available from Small Box Games, but coming to Kickstarter in May 2018 from Kolossal Games. It's a two-player game taking around 30 minutes in which players are going to be developing their village in Neolithic times competitively, attempting to score the most points for having gathered icons at the end of the game. There are two types of turns a player can take. They can either have a task turn in which they're going to use villagers from their hand to take any of these 5 actions available to them that has not been blocked by either themselves or the other player currently. And then that you're going to be gathering cards in order to develop a tableau for your village as you go along. The other type of action you can take is to take all your villagers back, and when you do that you get village actions which allow you to develop again from cards you've collected. So what are the different types of actions we can take in this game? We can go hunting. When we go hunting, as with all cards, there are 2 different options available to us. For basic hunt, we get to take any of the same type of animal that we've been able to hunt down and keep them for meat or skins or any combination thereof. Our other option is to attempt to domesticate the animal we've hunted. In order to do that, we're going to take that card into our hand and we can play it later. Gather is very similar to going hunting. In this case, it's going to be certain types of resources. We can keep this wood and this flax and this barley, or again we can choose to develop this and take it into our hand again to play later. To procreate, we need 2 of our villagers to go there. And we're looking at 2 different things when we choose which villager to keep. First thing is, we're looking at the action icons on there. In this case, they've got a gender. They can both help us innovate, which again takes 2 cards. This one's better at gathering and this one's better at hunting. And as well as that, these cards are going to give us point scoring opportunities if we play them into our tableau, and we're going to consider these later. They're going to come into our hand and give us the option to take more actions before we have to reset. When you come to innovation, again, there are 2 uses for innovation cards. They either give you a straightaway bonus when you play them from your hand, or they give you point scoring opportunities, but they can never be played directly on a tableau when you take the action. These are always going to come into your hand, and so we'll talk about them in a sec. When you go foraging, it's basically a get out of jail thing in which there are 2 cards from each of these piles in here, and if you find an action's been blocked constantly by another player, you can come here and that's going to allow you to get a bit of a kickstart going on. Now, when you do bring back your villagers, the number of villagers you bring back on that village turn is equal to a number of actions, and there are different things you can do with those actions relating to the cards you will have collected. So for one action, you can domesticate an animal. Now this animal is both going to give you this icon available to you, and icons are going to generate off each other and score points, as we're going to see in a second. And also domesticating an animal is going to give you a boost to one of these actions. In this case, wolves help you look at more cards when you go hunting. Very similarly with the resources, by developing this gives me a field icon and 2 barley, and that's going to help me score points as we go through. If you choose during the village phase to turn your villagers into culture, they're going to give you a chance to score points. Now, in this case, if I went shamanistic, that's going to score me 1 point for every fur icon I have in my village at the end of the game. And so therefore, if I knew I had that, maybe I wouldn't have domesticated that wolf, and I would have hunted it for its skins instead. This villager gives me agrarian. That's 2 points for every field I've been able to do, which is the reason why I might have done this field. And again, these might help you develop your village along certain lines. With these innovation cards, I said there are 2 options. There are rituals, and you play them, and they're basically going to give you a chance to take one of these actions and kickstart yourself along if you haven't been able to get villagers with certain icons or whatever it might be. The other way around is the ability to score points similarly to culture, but in this case, you require certain icons in your village before you can play them. So for roasted meat, we must have 3 meat available to us, which we have from these sheep, and then that's going to score us 2 points and again give us more icons. We can use this wood with wood carving to score points, or if we've got more fields, we can go into advanced farming, and that's going to score us 4 points at the end of the game. The game is going to end when any 2 of these piles gets completely emptied, in which case everyone throws down their founder villager, and that tells you that, as well as the points you've scored from the cards you've played, everyone's going to check and see who's got the most icons in their village, and they're going to get a 5-point bonus. You then check your VP totals, and whoever has the highest VP is going to be the winner of the game of Neolithic. Keep an eye out on Kickstarter in May 2018 for the version coming from Kolossal Games. This has been a Game Pit Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out the Game Pit channel on YouTube, and for more in-depth coverage of gaming, please find the Game Pit podcast. Thank you.